This is Citizens Minutes 40th edition. Yes, 40 have passed. It's hard to believe. My name is Robert Wilkins. 18 days before our 250th years since we declared independent from the British Crown on a sunny June day on the plains of Auburn. There were two speakers during the Citizens Open Forum at the June 16, 2026 meeting. The first citizen, who had spent 26 years in Southeast Asia and Africa, is concerned about the building of a large Islamic Center in Auburn. And the other citizen spoke about Juneteenth celebration and our living Constitution with our rights to vote and participate as candidates. We had two citizens speak from a business perspective during items on the agenda. First person, a local developer, asked for approval for historical preservation in Auburn. Kudos to that gentleman. We need to have done more of those. Second person spoke how adding over 300 hotels to downtown has affected her local-owned hotel, but adding a twist in surviving.
My wife and I were very fortunate to get this property under contract with the Auburn University Real Estate Foundation. We've been working on it since November, and we're here tonight to, if you don't know the history, I think this property, Ann Pearson died in 2000, left this to Auburn University Foundation. They didn't take it into 2022. As you're aware, the city built a park on part of the property across the street. This is the remaining property that's left. It's 118 acres between the blue and the orange. I'm trying to go over both of them. We're talking about the blue piece right now. The blue piece is in Lee County. We just annexed it into the city, and we want to take the zoning from rural to CDD, which the orange is CDD, and then we're going to take it further. There's another zoning case to take it CDD to PUD. And the easement track is called the easement because there's a conservation easement right now with Alabama or Georgia-Alabama Trust. It allows two homes to be built on it. There's a current small home that can be a guest house and a barn, current lake. The reason we have different conditions from the orange and the blue is because there's different uses and different covenants allowed with both pieces, and we did not want anybody to get misrepresented and get them on the different property. The orange piece will, is zone CDD right now, and that's been the main core. It's in the city, and the whole idea is to take away the development rights of that track is the main focus of what her estate was, and also what the Auburn University Foundation. That property has the existing Noble Hall house on it, and it's a historic home built in 1854. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. Our intent, my wife's intent, is to restore that home to what it was in the prime, and then there's some existing homes that would be, there's two other houses on the property and a couple other structures. We plan to leave it intact to the size and scale that it is, and then we want to add a couple little cottages around that for our kids that are grown adults and our grandkids. Overall, I think this is a great case to why PUD is in the code now, which is just adopted, because we went to staff and Justice and Scott and said, hey, we want to do this great project. We only want to build a couple of houses. Even if we took the piece in Lee County to rural, you couldn't build the two houses on it. And so this is a great chance to us to be able to improve it, to make it look what we told the university and what the foundation wanted it to look like. And we really couldn't have done it any other way. There are a lot of questions I think at your meeting you had the other week, like not the packet meeting, but the house is going to be restored. The signs are going to stay on there. There's a marker in the front of the property. We're working with the Auburn University to go through that house and video the restoration. There's actually a cannonball on the side of the house from the Civil War. It's got a lot of history with the university. A lot of some of the former presidents of the university lived there from the Great Depression. So we want to pull all that history out and be able to do. In my past, in Atlanta, we gave the Peters House to SCAD, Savannah School of Arts in downtown. And it's really a cool house. My wife and I restored several houses in Charleston, in Atlanta, and I think the reason we were chosen from the university is because most people wanted to modify the house and add to it. We want to keep the house like it is. And why don't you flip the slides? You don't.
There you go.
So there's a site plan. The white houses are the additional houses that we're adding, additional barn, all the gray houses. So it's all kind of condensed. There's an easement in front that nothing can be built from a view shed in front of the house. Go to the next slide if you don't mind. Go to the next. There's that shaded area, that view shed. There's the house back in the 30s. Go to the next couple of slides. That's what it looks like today. Obviously, it's got a tarp. Everybody wants the tarp to go away. Keep clicking. That's what the cornice is. It's in very bad disrepair. It's been getting a lot of water over the years. Go to the next one, please. That's what the house will look like when it's finished. The stucco was actually scored to look like stone. You can see the old lines in it. So we would repair that and rescore it.
The folks that I've talked to are elated about this. They are so happy that the thing will be preserved, and grateful to Mr. Jolly for having the skills and the desire to undertake this.
I would just like to commend Mr. Jolly for taking the steps to not only bring it into the city, but also to work with staff to create a PUD and make it so that it is preserved for years to come. There's been a lot of speculation as to what would happen on Shelton Mill regarding this property, and to know that it will be preserved. I think Dr. Pearson would be very proud and know that her efforts are being fulfilled, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to echo those sentiments as well. I'm pleased to hear that you're going to include the historical marker. I'm presuming that is staying. That's wonderful, and I appreciate the thoughtfulness that you're putting into this work.
Absolutely. Thank you for your investment in Auburn, Mr. Jolly. It's very refreshing to see somebody that wants to participate in historical preservation as well as preservation of our natural resources.
So I did want to just come and talk to the council in person, Brian and I here today, to tell you about the project. What it really boils down to, this is a really good project for that corner. Not many people have an opportunity to have businesses in Auburn, to live in downtown Auburn, and control what happens in downtown Auburn. And that's something that we take seriously as a responsibility, because we do have that opportunity. We've had great success, again, thanks to the council and mayor's support when we built the Collegian Hotel. But the fact remains that adding 300 hotel rooms in downtown Auburn has significantly impacted our business. And my dream and hope is always to keep the Collegian Hotel like it is. And in order to do that, I have to find another use for our current home and residence. And doing that will allow me to fund the Collegian in a way that will be sustainable, even though we are feeling the pressures of having additional hotel rooms downtown. But we frankly don't see additional traffic. We're all kind of fighting for the same people. But, you know, that's part of running a business, and so we try to get creative and figure out the next steps. It was never our intention or plan to develop the property next door, because I love living on one level, not having to walk upstairs with my knees. But the reality is there's a 700-room hotel, a dorm going across the street, and I'm not really keen on living across from 700 kids at this point in the same way that I do now. So the idea is that we would turn that into a condotel. If you're not familiar with that idea, it's basically we run it as a hotel room, which means no Airbnb, no VRBO. We control the HOA, and we have very strict things. We've already worked on our HOA. There's going to be this is not a multifamily unit. This is not, for them to rent out. There's no subleasing happening. They own it. And then, it'll probably, it's going to be people's second residences. And so when they're not using it, we manage the rental of it as a hotel room, which means we're going to be able to add additional jobs to the community through housekeeping, maintenance, landscaping, things like that. So, at the end of the day, it's not what I had ever envisioned would happen 8 years ago, but here we are, and I'm excited about it.
I'd like to thank the Worths for their continued investment in Auburn and their willingness to pivot with us here. And I actually appreciate the aesthetic value of the product that they brought forth. I think it's I think when we look at folks that are wanting to invest in downtown Auburn and build structures that we wish. Well, I'll speak for myself. I wish more of them looked like this. So we appreciate you guys for investing and trying to make or keep our downtown special.
To the condo-tel regulations, they came about in the late 90s or so with the game day condominiums behind Mama Goldberg's and sit on both sides of the street, because this is a concept to make it a hotel / a condominium thing. We just haven't invoked these in a while. Tiger Suites were approved that way, and so something before we ever discuss short-term rentals. That's part of the reason why we have these regulations in our ordinance. The other question I've received is this part of the moratorium? And the answer is no, because it's a condo-tel, which functions more like a hotel, but it is a confusing ownership style, and it is akin. It's just as Kim Worth was saying, the hotel manages it when the owners are not utilizing it. And so that's kind of a key difference. It's rented out through a central desk as opposed to VRBO and Airbnb and all of that. So
Oops, sorry. I just want to second what Tyler said also. And I mean, this would possibly be the third business that the Worths have invested in our downtown between the Coho and Stacks and possibly this. So invested heavily in our downtown. We're very appreciative of the projects that y'all do and the businesses you run and what you contribute to Auburn.
Retiree, moved here about 8-9 years ago. I must say also I have spent 26 years in Southeast Asia and in Africa, and I have quite a bit of experience in Muslim countries. So my concern here, I have a very deep concern about it, the building of a large Islamic Center, including a mosque and an education facilities in Auburn. As is, and I did a little bit of research, there's a GoFundMe that's been raised with $25,000 of a $500,000 goal. So there's an urgent question that's arisen. Which organizations will finance the balance? Texas recently, and I'm going to read to you what I've learned. Texas, you might be aware of that. Texas has taken major legal and political actions against CARE, which is the Council on American Islamic Relations. The state officially designated CARE as a foreign terrorist organization and subsequently filed a lawsuit seeking to completely ban the group and its affiliates from operating within the state. I'm bringing this up because typically CARE helps Muslims in a city and the imam, if they have one, to find financing for mosque and education center. Here's going to be a 6-acre property. You don't buy that with $25,000 or even $500,000. So I think the city should make an effort to learn where the financing comes from. I have 1 minute. I cannot tell you everything that I know about Islam. You'll be extremely shocked. Okay, I'm very, very concerned of what's going to be taught there that is against the Constitution of the United States and against the law that we live by concerning the role and the position of women in society, of girls, the beating of wives, the education that's given. I can go on and on and on. All right. So my approach to you is, can you do something to identify who will be financing that Islamic Center? That's it.
Thank you very much.
Almost on time.
real quick, Dr. Pierron, we need your address for the record.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I thought you, I apologize.
Yeah,
please.
1270 East University Drive.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
May I ask what's going to happen after?
You've asked some questions and we'll get back with you. How about
Oh,
that?
okay.
Yep.
He has a public records request submitted for some information
Okay.
as well, not what he asked for this evening, and I want to make you aware that we're working on that as well.
Okay, sure. All right, good.
Thank you, good
Yep.
evening.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As we celebrated Juneteenth, early this past Saturday, a day that stands for freedom, unity, and equality. I wanted to thank Councilman Connie, even though she's not here, Taylor, for her extraordinary dedication in making this celebration special, along with 2 members on this council who supported her and all the volunteers who helped make it happen. I also want to thank her for letting me in the parade and hand out free water to everyone at the 92-degree heat at Kiesel Park. Our Constitution is a living promise that protects our freedom and calls every one of us to step up and do our part. The Founding Fathers were regular people like you and I, such as farmers, merchants, tradesmen, who risked everything so we could govern ourselves. They expected us to protect what they built from the heart. Voting is our most important responsibility. Only 1 in 5 people showed up for a local election. We let a small group decide our taxes and our neighborhoods and our future. Today's runoff will likely be in the single digits that I've looked at. The right to vote has earned through real struggle for men, for women with the 19th Amendment, and through the civil rights marches in Selma. In Auburn, there's really no excuse not to stay informed. You can attend council meetings in person, watch them on YouTube at your convenience, or listen to the radio. We need to vote in every election and stay engaged to stand up for working families and the small town character we love. Running for office is about service, not a career. The founders served and returned to their communities. Right now, we only have the mayor's position and 1 ward position with 2 people running, with 7 wards having no competition yet. We need good people who truly want to serve with heart, knowledge, and common sense, leaders who put citizens first. So please run, Forrest, run. From the movie Forrest Gump, every municipal position on the council needs to be contested. It's good for the council, for the citizens, and for the community as a whole. The municipal election is August the 25th, but qualifying to run for city council or mayor ends a week from today on June the 23rd. Now is the time to set it up. Once elected, even if it's me, we must hold our leaders fully accountable for budgets, zoning, spending, and every decision that affects our daily lives. Don't sit on the sidelines. Vote, study the issues, support good candidates, and if you feel called, consider running for office. Our neighborhood and our city needs you right now. Together, through our active citizenship from the heart, we can honor our Constitution, respect our founders' vision, and build the kind of respective Auburn our families deserve for generations to come.
I was hoping that Councilwoman Taylor would be here for me to thank her for the work that she did on the organizing of the Juneteenth parade and festival out at Kiesel Park. Both events were lovely, a lot of great attendance, good weather, and it was very enjoyable, and I'll make sure I thank her personally when I see her next.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it.
I share Bob's enthusiasm for the Juneteenth celebration, and I encourage the council, either this council or the next, to formalize that so that we have a city activity recognizing the importance of that particular holiday. Since it's a national holiday now, we ought to have something within the city purview similar to that we have for other national holidays. So again, I don't quite know how we go about doing that. Juneteenth's a wonderful event to celebrate, but now that it's a national holiday, I hope we all can institutionalize that a bit more instead of having it run just by a separate corporation. So,
Quote by Abraham Lincoln, "We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution." Citizens question. Beth asks, the gentleman with the 26 years living in Southeast Asia and Africa brought up an issue that really concerns me concerning Muslim law. Well, Beth, our Constitution states that we have separation of church and state. Sharia law would violate that amendment. We only have the U.S. Constitution that provides our civic laws, not Sharia law or any other law. Please make comments or become a guest speaker on Citizens Minutes by going to nextdoor.com, YouTube, or Facebook. Your counsel is only as good as the information that you gather.
While five of
Ms.
your fellow
Bolt, you are
councilmen
done.
don't care to
Ms.
protect the
Bolt,
Constitution
you
or
are
voting
done.
rights.
I don't know what qualifies you to make the decision, the police department needs this or too aggressive, whatever. I don't know where your qualifications come from.
Claiming that their rights were being violated. And I take my job very seriously.
Become a danger zone for Americans who still
Point
cherish.
of order, Mr. Mayor. Our library is not dangerous at all.
It is morally dangerous.
They do not want citizens' input. They just want our money.